This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
Why does anyone spy? Why give up the security of family, friends, and a regular job for the perilous twilight world of secrets? Why, in particular, would someone join one intelligence service and then switch loyalty to an opposing one? The nearest parallel to Gordievsky's secret defection from the KGB may be the case of Kim Philby, the Cambridge-educated Englishman who made the same journey but in the opposite direction, as an MI6 officer secretly working for the KGB. Like Philby, Gordievsky had undergone a profound ideological conversion, although one man was drawn to communism and the other repelled by it. But Philby's conversion occurred before he had managed to get himself recruited by MI6 in 1940, with the explicit intention of working for the KGB against the capitalist West. Gordievsky had joined the KGB as a loyal Soviet citizen, never imagining that he might one day betray it. Spies come in many shapes. Some are motivated by ideology, politics, or patriotism. A surprising number act out of avarice, for the financial rewards can be alluring. Others find themselves drawn into espionage by sex, blackmail, arrogance, revenge, disappointment, or the peculiar one-upmanship and comradeship that secrecy confers. Some are principled and brave. Some are grasping and cowardly. Pavel Sudoplatov, one of Stalin's spy masters, had this advice for his officers seeking to recruit spies in Western countries. Search for people who are hurt by fate or nature. The ugly, those suffering from an inferiority complex, craving power and influence, but defeated by unfavorable circumstances. In cooperation with us, all these find a peculiar compensation. The sense of belonging to an influential and powerful organization will give them a feeling of superiority over the handsome and prosperous people around them. For many years, the KGB used the acronym MICE to identify the four mainsprings of spying: money, ideology, coercion, and ego. But there is also romance, the opportunity to live a second, hidden life. Some spies are fantasists. Malcolm Muggeridge, former MI6 officer and journalist, wrote, "Intelligence agents, in my experience, are even bigger liars than journalists." Espionage attracts more than its share of the damaged, the lonely, and the plain weird. But all spies crave undetected influence, that secret compensation, the ruthless exercise of private power. A degree of intellectual snobbery is common to most, the secret sense of knowing important things unknown to the person standing next to you at the bus stop. In part, spying is an act of the imagination. The decision to spy on one's own country, in the interests of another, usually emerges from the collision of an outer world, often rationally conceived, and an inner world, of which the spy may be unaware. Philby defined himself as a pure ideological agent, a devoted secret soldier in the communist cause. What he did not admit was that he was also motivated by narcissism, inadequacy, his father's influence, and a compulsion to deceive those around him. Eddie Chapman, the wartime crook and double agent known as Agent Zigzag, considered himself a patriotic hero, which he was. But he was also greedy, opportunistic, and fickle, hence his code name. Oleg Penkovsky, the Russian spy who furnished the West with crucial intelligence during the Cuban Missile Crisis, hoped to prevent nuclear war. But he also wanted prostitutes and chocolates brought to his London hotel, and demanded to meet the Queen. The outer world that propelled Oleg Gordievsky into the arms of MI6 was political and ideological. He had been profoundly influenced and alienated by the building of the Berlin Wall and the crushing of the Prague Spring. He had read enough Western literature, knew enough of his nation's real history, and seen enough of democratic freedoms to know that the socialist nirvana reflected in communist propaganda was a monstrous lie. He had been brought up in a world of unquestioning obedience to a dogma. Once he had rejected that ideology, he became committed to attacking it with all the fervor of the convert. As deeply and irreversibly opposed to communism as his father, brother, and contemporaries were committed to it. A creature of the system, he understood the ruthless cruelty of the KGB firsthand.